Rita.
We're the two Pilates Chicks, and it is Season 6, Episode 15.
15.
Our year end. It is our final Season 6 episode.
And our annual Q&A episode.
Yay! We're so excited. We have such good questions. So you want to just dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one comes and it says, as a solo entrepreneur, how do you stay connected and inspired without burning out? And we both love this question because we've both been solo entrepreneurs.
Yeah, but it brought back memories of thinking about all of that. And we've each been there, and we know it can be really hard when you're running your own business. You're the only
other
teacher.
teachers. Mm-hmm.
And like I used to go to all of the conferences to connect with other people because I was the only teacher in my space, and I was running my program, and that was it. And then I would go to conferences, but I would go alone, and so it's still hard to connect.
Yep.
And so it's pretty easy to burn out when you're dealing with all the business stuff and all the teaching stuff. And you're it.
You're it. And I just remember like those days when you're in the grind of you're just with a client all day, like different clients each day, but it's just you. And there's no other teachers to feed off of. There's no other teachers to hear. There's no other teachers to kind of like absorb things or kind of share with.
Yeah.
And then, I would go to conferences too. But then again, you're at the conference and most others are with their people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a little still kind of like off, but but I feel like there's a few things as a solo entrepreneur, but it also depends on like both of us were in big cities.
Yeah.
So I always would take lessons for myself at another studio with another teacher. So I would be in another space and I would get to meet teachers.
Different environment.
Yeah, and kind of feed a practice, but then be with others and be able to talk.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot, too, to get out of my space and in someone else's space.
Yeah, that's actually big. That's a huge thing.
Because then you're, like, out of that hole. I'm by myself.
Yeah, and just feel, like, stuck in your space and that's it.
Yeah.
Because there is something to be said. Like, I do love the time that I'm in the studio where I have, like, just me and my client when we're here, but then I love being here with all the other teachers, too.
You kind of want both.
Yeah, it's nice to have a balance.
Mm-hmm. But day after day after day by yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's wearing. And I also think that's one of the, because we both, like, have done workshops or we do continuing education.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's like you just want to, like, be around other teachers, but not be having to, like, take a workshop or continue education or travel somewhere. And that's one reason we kind of came up with our group mentoring program was just to have a community to kind of have like one of ours that have been coming in. She's kind of in a new city, new teacher on her own. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like it's lonely.
Yeah, you get kind of siloed and stuck in your own routine. And it's hard to get out of that I don't want to say a rut, but that same kind of grind.
Yeah.
And that is what I think a lot of people have said they're getting a lot of benefit from our group mentoring is that it's like once a month, it's a little fresh air to just kind of see other teachers. It's not necessarily a very strict, structured, like, workshop.
No.
But you're learning a little bit. But you're also talking a little bit, and you're
sharing experiences. Yeah. And also just connecting with other teachers. But I think the main thing when you're on your own, like you and I both, it was the same situation. We were both teaching in club settings.
Yeah.
So it was all the members. But I think it is getting out of your own space, like getting out into a new space, getting out into taking a class from somebody else or your own thing.
Because it's just being in your space alone by yourself all the time that is what's hard.
Yeah.
So
and it's easy to get burnt out because it's day in, day out,
constant.
And
it's just a nice refresh to get in someone else's space, to hear other people's way of thinking, to hear other people talk, not have to think for yourself.
Well, and then it's also about you. It's like you getting recharged, you getting grounded, you getting inspired, you getting like out of your normal I just dreaded like doing my own workout like in the space by yourself. It's like
you've already been there.
You've been there all day. Yeah,
exactly. So and I would do the same thing, like going out and taking classes somewhere else. because the same thing. You're like, okay,
I've been all day
alone, and
I don't want to get on that
own workout alone again, and I can't stand hearing myself think anymore.
No, and that's just it. It's just So I think that for me is like the biggest thing. Yeah, in terms of staying connected, staying inspired.
Yeah. And I think that also connects with a similar but different question that we had about how you keep yourselves from burning out, just in general within
And this was question was like, you could be at a busy studio with a bunch of teachers, but you're teaching day in, day out. Yeah. So how do you not get burned out? And I know we both have, like, I have very specific that I've learned over the years, signs and things I do, so we can both answer. But you want to go first?
Well, for me, I think, like, we were talking about different needs from different types of burnout. So there's the burnout where you're just grinding and going, and you feel like dredged down, like you just need some inspiration for your work. And that's when I'm feeling that I'm like bored and uninspired. I need some continuing education or some workshops or some ways to like invigorate my way of thinking about teaching. But then there's the other type of burnout where you're like, I cannot deal with thinking about Pilates anymore or anatomy or whatever, and I just need to not be involved in the studio at all for a few days. And then that is more helpful for myself. I like take a lot of walks and go on a short trip, maybe just down the coast a little bit, or stay out of the studio for like 3 whole days in a row and see some funny movies. Just those things where you're like totally not thinking about it. Reading books that have nothing to do with Pilates, anatomy, anything.
And I think for me, one thing I've learned is what I started to learn as a teacher was pretty much 5 month, 6 month mark of teaching, meaning for the year. Mm-hmm. I had that burnout you're talking about where I need to get out of the space, get away from Pilates, not do anything. So at that point, I realized, so every spring and every winter around these times, I need to take, like you just said, that break. Yeah. Get out of town, even if it's just on the coast, and it would be a Thursday to a Monday. Mm-hmm. So you're out of the space. It's
a long weekend.
It's a long weekend. You can move those Thursday, Friday people to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Monday people just move them. So you don't miss anything, but you still have this huge amount of time off. And then I also learned that I need, like you said, because you feel like, am I repeating? Is this the same? What is happening? So I looked every year in January. I'm like, what's my deep dive this year in terms of my learning? Yeah. And that's what I would have, that deep dive of something instead of just, when they had the PMA, that was a chance to kind of combine them both. Yeah. You get out of the city, you go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
You get a little bit of, community and teaching and maybe sit in on some workshops. So that was kind of combining them both in a way. But it's kind of this realizing which one is it. Yeah. And making sure you take care of each of them all year long. Yeah, like whatever the need is at that time, it tends to be cyclical. I feel like at least once a quarter you just need maybe a 3-day weekend or one extra day off and just kind of decompress. And then year round, a couple of little workshops or deep dive things that you can just reinvigorate, along with some, like a big workshop at some point. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I think that, like when we were coming up with our workshops, it's like, it made sense for us just a spring and a fall, because it's that same kind of cyclical thing you're talking about. It's kind of that, true, yeah, it's kind of like, it's spring, or, it's kind of like my vacation, spring, fall. Yeah. It's like, it's the same.
Time of year, you just need the reset, reinvigorating, because if you, like, say, okay, we get, like, a holiday break, everybody tends to take, like, a week or a handful of days, at least. And so then it's like, okay, January, by the time you get to May, which is when we do our spring workshops,
that's
it's like
usually the kind of getting burnt out kind of moment.
So time. Like, okay, like I need a little bit of a push. And then you get through the summer, and then in the fall, same thing. You're like, okay, how do I get through this next holiday?
Kind of off, yeah. They're off a little in the distance.
So for us, like that timing makes a lot of sense. Like a spring and fall kind of workshop-y reset, and then like a winter, summer little long break.
Because like you and I both, we take the week off between Christmas and New Year's. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's dead anyway.
Yeah.
But that's like, and you come back and it's like, whoa, it's like you're a new person.
Yeah.
And same thing in the summer. It's like, it's the time to take that break.
Yeah. Take a week, take at least a couple days, a few days. It's just, you just need that refresh.
And it's not like you have to go like to the Caribbean or to Europe.
That sounds nice.
Just like get in your car and go, like, just staying in a hotel.
Yeah, just for a night. Like a nice, it's again kind of like the first question. It's like
getting
you're just
out of your normal
new environment. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just refreshing.
Getting out of your own space and head.
Yeah, completely.
But I think everyone needs to realize, like, I don't know what you might be the same because we're very similar in these things, but I realize when I'm getting close to that, I need a break. It's when my client says something, and in my head I'm going, really? Really? You know what I mean? Like, your patience is, like, not normal.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's time.
Yeah, when you're that's actually a really good, like, key to think of, because when your patience window has narrowed, that's building, like, you have more irritation, more easily, more readily irritated. That's actually a perfect sign of burnout upcoming and like impending.
Warning.
It's a warning light.
It's a warning light.
For sure.
It's that red light. Bing, bing,
like,
bing.
I need a reset.
Yeah. That's my sign. This was a good question. It's a loaded one, meaning we could go on for like a whole podcast, I think. And I think we've hit on maybe a little bit in it, but it's the teacher asks, when teaching at different studios with different styles or quote unquote rules, how do you navigate staying true to your teaching while respecting the studio space and the studio owners?
Yeah, which I thought, I mean, this is a great question because first of all, this teacher is recognizing that you do have to respect the studio you're teaching in.
Yes, because I think that's very important, and you're in their space. It's their studio. They can do whatever they want.
Right. And it's that person's space. So it's very important to respect the space you're in and the rules of that location. But this teacher asking this question is also recognizing that you have to respect yourself and be authentic to your own teaching and what you know is right or wrong for clients.
In your practice. In your skills.
Yeah.
So I think there's like, we had a thought process on this in terms of like when we were coming up as teachers, the environment was not what it is now.
Yeah.
And it was very much the only places you taught were studios. And most studios were classical, traditional, contemporary, and a mix of it.
Yeah.
And rehabby. There was no like reformer classes and this and that, or you have to teach this way, or these are our rules.
Yeah.
The rules were basically how you clean and leave your apparatus.
Definitely, yeah.
But you were allowed to teach how you taught or how you were trained to teach.
And if you were in like a classical studio, you would teach classically. And if you were a contemporary teacher, you probably wouldn't teach there.
Classical.
Yeah. And so it was those general rules.
Yeah.
But we didn't have social media. We didn't have gym Pilates stuff. We didn't have fitness reformer Pilates stuff. We didn't have all these different studios with their own method, like this and that type of method of Pilates.
Yeah, like you teach this and then you teach, or these are the props and this and that and this and that. So it's a whole, or their own exercises.
Yeah, or like this is level cool sculpt or, you know, whatever.
There was none of that. It was kind of like Pilates.
Yeah. So, like, there was more of a general language that we were all teaching within than there is now. And so we kind of more understood the different silos of, okay, classical, traditional, original, contemporary, and where you were within that. It made a lot more sense. So,
and you could even stay true to yourself as a classical or traditional teacher in a contemporary studio.
Definitely.
Because there was, contemporary basically was that original contemporary, which to us is like Eve Gentry and Kathy Grant, all these things where the foundation you were built from fit.
Still within the classical and contemporary lineage.
And vice versa, the contemporary, probably not because they didn't know the order or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was easier for them to go and understand.
Yeah, because it's from the same lineage. It's from the same pathway.
Yeah.
So it's very different now. But, I mean, that being said, it is what it is now. And
it is what it is.
And I think teachers need to definitely always respect the studio they're in. Mm-hmm. But we also need to know where our own, guidelines, guardrails are. Where,
where our boundaries are as to what we will do and won't do in terms of our teaching. Like you were saying before we jumped on, it's like, is this the right way for my clients?
Yeah. And if a studio allows you to, if you're still following the general guidelines of what they're asking for, but allows you as a teacher, they hired you or let you rent space.
There was a reason they hired you. Yeah. Knowing your foundation, knowing where you came from.
So are they going to let you work with them to see what's right for the client instead of no, you have to do it this way? Because then maybe if you're super restricted, maybe it's not the right environment. Because if it's okay for you, then you're like, okay, I know I can't do this, but oh well, it's fine. But if you really feel conflicted about it and this is not appropriate, I can't teach like that, then it's not the right space.
And it's also going to take a lot of the joy out, and then that
lead to burnout.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm going to talk about one of our grads who's been gone for a while, but when she moved into a new city and had to find a space to teach at, and she was really wanting to work, but she would go in these places and they would say, oh, but you have to teach this way.
Yeah.
And she, to her credit was I can't do that.
Can't do that.
I don't want to do that. This is how I teach. This is good for my clients.
Yeah.
And eventually she found a studio where, yes, they taught different than she does, but she's able to, like you said, do her way of teaching. Yeah. They don't say, oh, no, you have to do this.
Yeah.
But that's what she was finding a lot of, and she was, really frustrated.
Yeah.
But she's for her, it was no, this is how I'm going to teach, and I'm not going to.
You can't compromise
that.
Yeah, and that's really what needs to happen. It's different for everybody, what that push-pull is and what is okay, where you're willing to say, that's whatever, it's fine. And what you feel no, I can't teach like that, I can't do that, it's not the right space for me.
But I also feel because as studio owners, and then when when I would hire people, it's you hired them. You saw them teach.
Yeah.
You hired them.
Yeah. So there was something.
So now you're going to make them change?
Yeah.
So it's kind of everyone has, I feel, a gift as a teacher in terms of, and there's a reason you hired them.
Yeah. And so then if somebody's then being restricted a lot after being hired.
Change them.
Yeah.
In a way that's kind of not the person you hired.
Yeah. And that, and like we said, connecting to the other questions, that really leads to burnout for the teacher over time. Because you can't
feeling lost and feeling confused.
Yeah.
And feeling, because I remember the first, and you can give your example, but I taught in a little bubble for a while, and then got thrown into, from the club, got thrown into a studio where all the teachers were, very whatever. And I kept thinking, oh, they're watching and they know I'm doing. But no one said, oh, no, you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
You have to do it this way. I was allowed to,
do what you do
what I did.
Yeah.
But feeling that pressure of, oh, they're watching me and they're going to.
Yeah.
But I think now with a question like that is what's happening. It's no, you have to be this.
Yeah, if you're being told this is how we do this here, then that fear we all have of oh, those teachers are watching me and judging me,
which
and that
they are.
imposter syndrome. But if you're being told you have to do XYZ, you might be getting evaluated and watched. But it's really, I think it's very specific to the individual. What feels right for you, and if it really doesn't sit right, there are other studios to teach at.
Yeah. And also, it's what your gut says. I really, over the years, it's listen to your gut. Because if your gut's this is not feel right for me, even like slightly, it's just going to get more and more and more and more.
It'll build. Build resentment and discomfort and burnout. Yeah.
And you want to love teaching. You want to love going in where you're going. You want to enjoy. You want to give your clients what you know you can give them, and how you feel as a teacher works.
Yeah, definitely. Stick to your values and your authenticity and your gut.
So basically, it's like if you're not gonna follow those quote unquote rules or whatever, it's just not the fit for you.
Yeah, and it won't be comfortable long term.
No.
And it's great and fine to like be somewhere and see how it feels and try it out and see what does work for you in that way of thinking.
Exactly.
And glean from it what you feel works, and then move on when you feel like, you know what, that's not right for me anymore.
Yeah, and it's like we were talking about, and I don't know if we talked about it in regards to that first question when we're talking about staying connected, inspired without as a solo. But when you are allowed to be in spaces where you can teach your authentic self, and others may not be teaching the way you teach, you still are going to like, oh, interesting. I never, or you're going to absorb and you're going to take and you're going to, but it's going to build into your foundation and you're going to apply it for you and your teaching instead of someone saying, oh no, this is how it is.
Yeah. And that's also what is more inspiring is when you are in a space with other people, or you have in whatever capacity the opportunity to see other people teach or listen to other teachers. You do take things from everybody, whether you're like, you know, I don't like how that was done, I'm not going to use that.
Yeah, you can take it to like, oh, that didn't feel good, I don't think I would do that.
And that's always good to know.
Always good.
And then take things like, oh, I really liked how that worked here, how that connected to this, you know, and so...
I never thought of saying it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that makes so much sense. So all of those things help everything we're just talking about, like the burnout and evaluating if a space is right for you.
Yeah. And I think it's like one of those things where it's like... It might take like a month to 3 months, but I think after 3 months you kind of know if this is right or not.
Yeah, I think definitely a 3-month mark, if you're somewhere, is a good marker of...
I think your gut will be talking to you at that point, good or bad.
Yeah, because that'll be like, by that point you're like, this, I can keep being here and it feels good for me and I'm not even worrying about it. Or at that point you're like, okay, I'm still... dreading having to teach this way or deal with these issues.
It's not working for me.
So it's just not working.
Yeah. I hope that's a
good question.
It's a very good question. And then we have...
So we wanted to end on a fun question.
Yeah, we like a happy question.
Yeah.
No, not that those weren't happy questions, but no.
Just a fun.
Just a fun one. I think one time it was like, what was our favorite ice cream or something? I don't know. Cupcakes. What was it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know any of those. One year we did end with one of those.
Yeah, it was like food or something. We're like, ooh.
Which makes sense for us.
So this one is, and I'll let you go first. What are each of your favorite moments with Pilates from this past year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was such a nice question.
It's such a good question. It's such a positive question.
Because I think about, when I first saw this question come in, I immediately started thinking about different, like, client wins.
That's what I did, too. Yeah. And then I went off that.
Well, and I just, like... Yeah, and just all these different moments throughout the year, it just kind of like blah, blah, like through my head of different like fun moments in the studio and nice connections. And there were a number of different things where I was just thinking about all these different client wins where I was like, wow, this person started doing this exercise where they could never do that before. This person connected to this more.
So fun.
And just in like this last week or two, like I can think of like multiple times where all of a sudden a client was like, oh, and like connected to something where we were like, that was awesome. And it was so fun to get them past this like next level of understanding things of whatever it was we were working on. It was so fun.
It's so fun. So mine's kind of like weird. Because I feel like I went your route with like thinking of different clients, like, you know, Susan all these people hit my head. But then I realized, and I thought, okay, past year. In the past year, I've had stuff with my mom. So for me, every day in the studio in this past year has been my happy place. Has been where no matter what happens with these clients, I'm like so lost in it and so like invested that I forget everything that's going on, which is a normal thing, but I think it really resonated this past year.
Even more needed.
Even more.
Yeah.
And I think also it was our first year, like full year of us being in the space together, which made it even more intense in that respect because we would just like have so much fun and we're in the space. And was it Susan said, she's like, you guys are just, what did she say?
She said something really cute recently. Yeah, like, you guys just work together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something really cute.
But yeah, I think that goes to the whole burnout thing, if you think about it, because it's like when we're, it just wraps it all in a little Christmas bow. Because if you think about how much we enjoy coming in and how much we enjoy being in the space and how much we enjoy the environment, that burnout and that is a little less.
It's less prevalent, less intense.
And comes less often. Or we can have that burnout come in and be like, oh.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Definitely less intensified. One of my clients I was teaching today, she knew me at my old place, but I didn't teach her there. And even just today, she was like, you're much happier here. Like, this is a much better environment.
I've heard a few of your clients say that.
Yeah. And they just know, like we're saying, like, this environment is better for me to grow and teach how I want, and to not only teach how I want to teach, be able to teach other want to be teachers
how to,
and then do our inspiring workshops and programs that we're working on, and be around other people where we can bounce ideas off each other, and then also sometimes have the private space in the studio when others aren't there. So it's really like the perfect balance of all these things we were just talking about.
Because we know, like, on Thursdays, I'm not here, you're here. On Friday,
I'm not here.
And then it's like we know, and then we have, other teachers that come in and rent space and whatever. But we always have throughout the week these moments of just us by ourselves with the client. But it's not such a long period of time where you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. So it is, I didn't think of that before, but it really is this perfect mix of all that stuff. And it makes a huge difference. And when you were just saying, like, this has been your happy place to get away from your own personal stress stuff, it was making me think, like, when I was getting ready to come back from maternity leave.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, like, transition for people. I didn't feel that stressed getting back because this is also my, like, happy place where I was like, no, like, I want to get back and have the balance of,
Because you came, so for those that don't know, you came for how many months before?
We started, I was here 3 months.
Because we had that whole, like, do you start after the baby? Do you
the whole back and forth. So I did a quarter, so 3 months.
3 months.
Here.
So the clients got kind of used to it.
Yeah, I got my business set up, got everything settled, and then I had maternity leave for 3 months, and then came back.
And we all took care of her clients while she was gone.
One big happy Pilates family.
And then she came back.
So, yeah. So, and I wanted to get back because this is also my happy place.
It's such a...
So that's a good, when she write it as fun Pilates moment from this year.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's hard to pick, like, one, if you think of clients. That's just like...
Because, like,
each client, you're like, oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Went through my head, Yeah. And just from the past week alone, where it's just like, oh, that was awesome when she did that. That was awesome when he could do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, do we want to? Okay, so there's a lot of questions that we get that we don't fit in to our year end.
End of year one. Yeah.
So we wanted to give you a sneak peek.
Yeah. So we have a couple that we're taking from your questions. We're going to make into a full episode for next year.
Podcast episode. Yep. And this one, well, there's two. What was the other one? Do we have the other one with this one? So I'll read this one, you read the other one. So one is for newly certified NCPT or MPCP grads, what kind of education path would be most helpful? Like learning a different system, scoliosis, rehab. So we really wanted to hit on that because this was like a newly certified teacher. Mm-hmm. So that one we want to hit on.
That's a really good question. Has a lot
of moving parts to it. Yeah.
So that'll be one. And then another one we wanted to say for a full episode is from somebody asking about our thoughts on teacher training programs and how there's so many different ones now and how almost every studio around has their own teacher training. And what we thought about that and how to navigate that.
Yeah, because it was like a lot of them was like they weren't teachers and had a teacher training program or their own whatever. So that was that we thought,
it's also a big one for...
We can't answer that in one question, but we can do a whole podcast.
So that will also be one for next year in our 2026 season.
Season 7.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads like into the 2020, like in January we start our study of the system, which again, if you go back to the question of being inspired without burning out, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We have, because it was kind of like these teachers that are feeling lost and didn't really learn the why, the how, and the purpose of exercises and how to teach to that client in regards to that. So that's in January. And then this week, on the 18th, we have our December
group mentoring.
And it's free.
Yeah.
It's a holiday treat.
Holiday gift.
Yes. And it's basically the same kind of Q&A, but in terms of teaching skills and maybe struggles you're having.
Specific exercises.
Yeah, just whatever it is for you as a teacher that you're like, I need to dive into this.
Yeah, but it's a nice little, like we were saying, like a community building, talking with other teachers who are feeling similarly, getting a little bit of guidance from us, discussing different things. So you get that little hour or two of community and inspiration.
Yeah, and then maybe you go, oh, I like this so much. And then you come back. Oh, through out. Because we have a different topic every month.
Yeah, throughout the year.
Yeah. And we'll set out the schedule for 2026.
Yep.
Yay! I guess and we have our spring workshop in May.
Yeah, we have that set up for functional exercises.
Yeah, so both of those things, the system and the spring workshop, you can actually book already on our website.
And you can get CECs.
Yay! Well, that was fun. What a year.
I know. It's crazy. Nobody can believe it's
the end
of the year.
We should put a blooper reel together.
Of all of
our bloopers of the year.
That would be fantastic.
That would be good. Okay. But thanks for listening. Have a happy holidays and a new year.
Happy New Year.
And we'll see you in the new year. Woo! Season 7.
Coming up.